is Charlotte Elise Westwood, but you can call me Charlie. I was raised in one of the 7 esteemed noble families of Azmarin. I will admit I lived quite the privileged life growing up the only child of Rylan Westwood and Giselle Montecroy, but my parents were diligent in expanding my experiences beyond our manor. Before the incursion, my days consisted of reading, writing, studying ancient languages, and socializing with the other noble families, all in the effort of becoming, as my family would say, an accomplished young woman who would be suitable for marriage. Yet, even with the pressure of being the last Westwood, I felt an undeniable calling elsewhere, a duty beyond that of an overqualified housewife. Through the years, I began to appreciate the beauty in all of the creatures with whom I shared the world. In an effort to honor the abundance of life around me, I took an oath of pacifism at a young age. Violence only begets violence, and I refused to take part in perpetuating that cycle. This oath came under test as my home was ravaged by other planar creatures, but I stand firm in my commitment to peace. Despite the terrors that any one individual is capable of, there is good to be found in every sentient life. It is a gift to see the potential in others, but it is an even greater gift to help them see it within themselves.
Hello, welcome to my library, humble though it may be. My name is Tyrion Cariadis, and I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. My story? Well, I was born here in Azmarin, in the Scholars' Village. My father was a learned man of the arcane before he passed, and I found myself inspired to learn all that I could to follow in his footsteps. Magic has always fascinated me, and I endeavoured myself, as I do in most things, to be my utmost best at it. I devoted myself to the Temple of Ioun, and all the knowledge contained therein. When not sleeping or tending to my other duties, I was sure to be found within the temple's wondrous library. I'd held more pages than could ever be read in a given lifetime, but that was a challenge I was willing to take on. I was excelling in my studies, and the future seemed open with potential. I had hope, I had possibilities, I had a plan, I still remember the smoke and the heat of the inferno. The Scholars' Village burned. We didn't know it at the time, but a devilish incursion was taking over the city. We did all within our power to rescue what books and knowledge we could, but we lost more than we ever dreamed. The temple burned along with the library. It's all gone now. My mother died in the fire as well. Had I known, in my anger and pain, I looked for a new purpose, a new path. I wanted revenge. So I joined the fledgling rebellion. Myself and my party of revolutionaries struck back against the devils. We felt unstoppable, like we were making a real difference. But one day we fell into an ambush. I was the only one to survive. I had so much. I have little now. The one thing that I'm trying my best not to lose is hope, but every day makes that harder to hold on to.
Hello, hey, I'm down here. Hi, I'm Briar, and this is my clock tower. I usually don't let anyone up here, but I guess you can be allowed because I know you can keep a secret. I've been in Azmarin for a while now. I left home after my folks kicked me out. They said our family was too poor for me to stay home and be a dead weight good for nothing. Anyway, that doesn't matter because I can take care of myself. Things were hard when I first got here, but after a while I realized I am good for something after all, and that's being sneaky. And luckily I found a way to get paid for that through the Thieves Guild. I've done pretty well by taking the jobs that no one else wants. You know, just little baby crimes like tiny theft and teensy-weensy spying on people. But after the devils came, those jobs became almost impossible to find. I had no idea how hard life was going to be after the incursion. I managed to stay out of it for a while, but I have a bad habit of finding myself in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then one night everything changed. I was running for my life, as you do, and I found this lady who was dying. And then she shoved this into my hands. This is Najwa. Well, I call her that now, but at first I didn't know what to do with her. Books are usually very boring, but she's teaching me all kinds of new things. It's all mostly in pictures because I'm not a super good reader, but I'm going to figure it out. Najwa's my best friend. So that's how I ended up joining the rebellion. It was all her idea. I wouldn't have bothered, but she gets so mopey when we don't do what she wants to do, and I would do anything to make her happy. She says we have a very important job to do together, so I'm just following her lead. Anyway, enough of that boring stuff. Time to eat. I would offer you some of this bread, but everyone knows that ghosts can't eat.
You can call me Jude. Jude Laurent if you really want to know. I was born here, in the heart of Azmarin. Rather shine her light and bless my birth. At least that's what my mother used to say. Used to. My life was fine, okay at best. I had a loving mother and a father who inspired me to be strong. He taught me to fight. He taught me to protect my own. I joined the city guard because of him. He taught me, most importantly, to survive. I'm a survivor. That's what you do in Azmarin. This city of pseudo-peace and gilded gold. You hold your head up and you survive. When your father dies, you survive. When all is lost and a judgmental man picks you and your mother up from the ashes, you survive. And when the world comes crashing down in infernal flame, you do what you must to survive. None of that matters now. Life as we know it is nothing more than delaying the inevitable. The devil's won. What can we do now? But I think of my mother, what she is, was. I think of my father. I think of what he wanted, what he fought for. I fight back for him. I fight back because I need to make things right. For him. For her. For everyone.
Welcome to Ashes of Azmarin. Oh my god. Today is session... Mother bitch. Today is session 8. Welcome. Sorry, I'm getting the overlay fixed right now. While I do that... Omega. Can I get a recap? If you don't mind terribly. Since you're so good at them. And you take notes.
That was my life. Today is such a mother bitch. Okay. Anywho, please previously on Ashes of Azmarin. So we started off fighting that monolith. Same difference. That aboleth. It was kind of, it was intense. Some cliff notes on that fight, just to not tell you everything that happened. But, everybody did their stuff. Jude ran to the middle. Tyrion started flying. Briar closed her eyes. Some spirits came around and like, yes, queen. We started fighting, going back and forth. I will say, though, the aboleth, though Jude was in the middle, the aboleth was fighting everyone but him, as if, it was smart. It kept going back down underwater because we were in like that aqueduct place, which was gross. So realizing this, Jude's like, okay, fine, that's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna down this potion of water breathing and go underneath the water towards you. Though it was dark and you couldn't really see. But Briar's doing her thing. And she said, think about it. Everybody's going to say what a poor guardian you are to let these poor motors get by. It's like, ooh, bitch, burn. It was done for a while. Charlie, doing her, she had done some healing and cast Beacon of Hope and stuff, but she was like, I'm going to cast light on a coin. and drop it underneath the water to see what's down there. Well, bleh, there was another aboleth. Yeah, two aboleths, which was fucked. Thanks, corruption. Stop giving us corruption. But we started doing the damn thing, but she said, nope, she cast Sanctuary and got to the other side because this wasn't really our fight. We had to just go. Um, Jude did like auto crit twice the aboleth, and did like 100 damage, I think, in one round, which was a thing. Tyrion was, just trying to do some lightning bolt stuff, but couldn't do that because Jude's in the water, and water can conduct electricity and instant death. We're still fighting, going back and back. Long story short, Charlie stepped up. Charlie stepped up and was like, you're not welcome here. Go back and cast banishment on the second aboleth. And that thing was just gone because with banishment, if you hold it for 1 minute without getting attacked, it goes back to its home plane. So bye, aboleth. And Jude then destroyed the first aboleth and still underwater, with his sword. It was great. He did hope that he made his actual father proud just for a moment. We finally get out, and we're like, this is gross. As we're walking, Jude's gross, literally grimy, asked if anybody had prestidigitation. They didn't. The audacity. It's fine. But we finally got out. About 2 hours later, we got out of the aqueducts, and we saw for the first time the land outside of Azmarin. We could turn around and see the bell tower and the castle and all that stuff, but we were free, if not just for a moment. Charlie did, however, see the castle as the bell was tolling, realizing that Olympia has fallen. She stepped away for a moment, pulling out a ring that Olympia gave her, and just cried. But she also cast thaumaturgy so she can hear Olympia's laugh one last time, which was really sad. Tyrion asked Charlie to think about like the most happiest thought of Olympia, and with detect thoughts and encode message, he made a ribbon of memory and he tied it around her wrist, which was adorable. Jude's being gay, thinking about Xavier, because that's what he does. Jude does go to find Briar to make sure that she's fine. How was it being a free bitch for the first time? And Briar's getting all sad and stuff and asks if Jude has ever had a picnic. It's like, yeah, I have with my mom and Hellbreaker, not with Gideon, because fuck that guy. And Briar's like, she did a bad thing. And Jude's like, it's fine, we all have. Trust me, I really have. Briar specifically asked if he's done something so bad that everyone he loves will hate him. And he goes, LOL, look at the city. Quite literally, partially my fault. And Briar asks if he loves his father, Hellbreaker. And he says, yeah, he loves him probably more than anything because, that's his daddy. And Briar said, yeah, but I transferred Charlie's curse to him, so I'm sorry. And she said she did it because, Hellbreaker made Jude cry. And Jude's like in his feelings like, yeah, it's cool. Let me go talk to Theo. Let me go find Theo. And but before we can find Theo, back to Charlie and Tyrion, where Tyrion's like, we can leave right now. Like literally right now. We can just walk away. And Charlie's like, we need to stay. Like, no. And Tyrion's like, I don't want to lose you. And I'm going to lose you if we go back. And Charlie's like, I don't care. I'm going. And he says, are you willing to give up yourself? Are you willing to give up me? And she's like, the audacity. I am going back. And Tyrion walks away because he's like butthurt and sad because Charlie didn't want to go with him. Fiance struggles. But then Theo comes, dun dun dun, with a big old gun on the back of him, and he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" They talked about who they were. Jude called himself Aegon, so some memory could happen. Briar was like, "I'm not Briar, I'm the Reaper, full ethereal form, bitch," which was cool. And Jude said he'll fill in Theo about everything that happened. So we decided to camp for the night and go back to Azmarin in the morning. Jude tells Theo about everything. He does say that Ingrid's still alive and there's time to make sure that, she's fine. Theo does have a plan with the gun he has with some blueprints of some transmutation wizards. They can mass produce guns to fight back. Oh, we've seen that in life. How did that go? But we got to root out the corrupted houses, unite the rebellion and the Thieves Guild. Theo does say he won't fault anyone who wants to leave, and everybody's like, "Hello, well." Briar walks away for a second and forces a vision because that's what she can do. And she saw Azmarin burning with bodies literally scattered everywhere. She sees Tyrion limp on the ground with Charlie with a spiritual weapon in one hand and inflict wounds ready in the other, obviously either having protected him or about to protect him with fighting magic that she doesn't do. She does see Dave scattered with devils around him, obviously dead, and further in on a throne, she sees a big ass pit devil and two bodies on the ground. One is Hellbreaker, the other is Jude. She comes out of that vision like, oh shit. But it was a fourth vision, so was it true? Who knows, Raven Simone. During their watches at the end, Tyrion does go back to Charlie, like, okay, fine, I'll go back with you. Because, if I leave, you definitely gone. But if I go back to the rebellion and do this, you're like only maybe gone. So I like maybe more than for sure. So yeah, I'll go with you. And they're like, oh my god, I love you. And I'm like, I love you. And they go to bed. They all wake up a little bit stronger because level up. They all finally go back to the city, heading back to the Basilisk and the Bastille. The rebellion is there, but there's a wave of silence as they finally see Theo, their savior. He's like Jesus Christ, honestly. But then they look at us because we're all heroes, and we're all invited back to the discussion room to plan the end of the incursion with Theo and Hellbreaker and all the other officials. Jude's like, but can I actually go? Because Daddy's in there, and he's like, yeah, Daddy said you're fine. But Briar's like, no, I don't think I deserve to be there. So she leaves, leaving Najwa to follow Jude. When she's leaving though, her friend Gabriella showed up like, you sure? And Briar's like, I just said what I said, I'm leaving. And she leaves. Both Charlie and Tyrion tried to contact her. She only responded to Charlie. Tyrion tried and she's like, leave me alone. But then they all begin the meeting and thus ended the episode. I'm good at this.
Thank you, CB. Oh my god.
So good. We just have a session of CB capping the entire season.
So we're going to this session is going to take place over several weeks. It essentially what it comes down to is the rebellion has several assignments, jobs, prerogatives, missions, things that they need to do. Are there anything in particular that you as characters would like to be contributing in the next, I would say, 6 weeks?
You want to start with a specific person?
Or with a specific task?
I will start with a specific person. I'll start with you, Jude.
Okay. Yes. So Judy boy, hey Jude. Jude 100% is in full on military mode. Oh my god, I love that. Full on military mode. His dad's here, Theo's here. He's like, Aegon's back, not in name, but in ability. So he's going to be the most useful right now, training other citizens, people who want to be, part of the rebellion, and people who feel inspired, training those folk for combat, especially combat against devils. He's going to train them how to seek out the devil's weaknesses, understand what infernal damage can do, all these things. His sword is very much clearly infernal. And he wants to show them that it is going to be hard, but you are strong in numbers. So he is 100% just in that mode. He's also helping with some actual like out missions going. Okay, calm down. With some out missions, taking out some devils um, to make the battle a little easier.
Yeah.
Even taking some of the newly trained citizens so they can get some one-on-one experience, not one-on-one, but some actual experience. Still saying that you might die doing this, but this is what you will have to do. And if you survive this, you might be able to survive later.
Why don't you start me off with a persuasion check? Or let's just do general charisma with proficiency. We'll call it your training check.
No, that's fine. I'm good at persuasion. I'm just laughing. That is a 30-20.
30-20. Jude, under your tutelage, you notice several. We'll get to how many people end up joining once we talk more about, I think, where Charlie and Tyrion and Briar are going. But with what you are given, you find at first they aren't quite as responsive to your gruff nature as perhaps you would like them to be. But with some persuasion and I don't want to say coercion, but you find a way to get through to them of why what you're teaching them is important and how to not die. You don't want these people to go. You don't want to send these people to their deaths.
I want to also say, as he's training, people would see, because he's definitely been that gruff, I'm a badass beats type of person. But when he's actually training people, especially being one-on-one with some of the younger folk, you actually see a slight softness coming out of him, because that was like his comfort zone. That voice crack, thank you. But that was his comfort zone, especially with his dad. So he's like showing the next generation. So there's a level of softness, a little bit of his heart coming out when he's doing this.
No.
Until he's actually on the field, he's like, fuck your shit. But
and with that softness, you find so much malleability there. You start to sense that, especially the teenager to late 20s are starting to look up to you. They respect you and they admire you. So much so, why don't you make me 3 attack rolls?
Okay. That's a natural one. I'm going to use an advantage.
Okay.
That's an 18. That is a 15. And that is a 24.
Okay. You find yourself in 3 successive battles with various guards and patrols of fiends. The first one goes very well. You find you only lose. You don't lose anybody on the first one. It's a success. There are some people who are beaten down, and you feel as though maybe you might lose some. But as you bring them back, Charlie is able to work her magic and heal any infernal wounds dealt. The second time, unfortunately, is the first time you do lose somebody. He was your youngest, and he unfortunately ran out in a moment of bravery / stupidity to sort of lure them away when it looked like things were going to get hairy. And then spurred by this sort of little bit of loss, even though it was a victory overall, the last round you are able to rally your people and your combatants, and you find yourselves taking out total 16 devils, ranging from bone devils all the way up to one horned devil, which is pretty significant. And yeah, there you go. Who's next?
A lot of Tyrion stuff is going to involve Briar.
Okay, y'all want to go together?
Yeah, well, especially since Briar kind of walked away, I think he's going to spend a couple of days just. He'll walk by the clock tower, send a message, just. Briar, just letting you know I'm here, and he'll just leave a sandwich just at the front door.
Wait, but what kind of sandwich?
It's a different one every day. He's had to restock because I feel like Briar's really into Dagwoods, just like everything on the sandwich that you can possibly fit. But it's always carefully made, cut in half, diagonal. Crusts are taken off.
What'd you say, Chris?
The correct way.
Right.
Diagonal. I think maybe the first day you don't hear anything back. But after a while, I think she would become responsive, and maybe on the third day, you'll get a response, and Briar will make herself available to you.
Hi, Briar.
Oh, thanks for the sandwiches. I think I don't like peanut butter. I don't want that one anymore.
Duly noted. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Thank you.
I know that we need to meet with the Thieves Guild, and I know that that's kind of your thing, but I was wondering if you wouldn't mind some company for it.
I guess.
I won't say a thing the entire time, and I'll be quiet.
Okay. Just come upstairs for a second. And when you come upstairs, Briar is going to attempt to make you look as messy and dirty as possible. Don't wear that fancy sweater. That's a dead giveaway that you're some kind of stooge. Like, leave that here.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take that. And then just like kind of trying to like rub a little dirt on you, make you look a little tougher.
Why don't you roll a disguise check for me? Oh gosh, which would be, would you like it to be charisma based or dexterity based?
Let's say, you know what? Either is fine, I think.
Okay.
They're the same modifier, the same base modifier,
Okay.
so.
Why don't you roll at the deception? Oh my gosh, a disguise kit check with proficiency.
Cool. Oh, I do
adding
have
your
a disguise
dex.
kit. That's correct. I forgot.
Yeah.
Natural 20 plus 6, so 26.
Beautiful. Would you like to describe this?
Yeah, so I will, like I said, kind of use like makeup and just the dirt that naturally is laying all over my clock tower to make you look a little more scruffy.
Mess up his
And like make your hair look less neat and like more like you just got to fight and kind of like move it around. And then
Can I keep the glasses? I need the glasses to see.
I was like about to break them. I'm like, oh yes, okay. Here you
don't
go.
have
Okay,
mending.
okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about this. And I'm actually going to punch you in the face while you're knelt down to crack your lip a little bit, and then I'm going to take like a heavy piece of wood and crack you on the knuckles so they look a little bruised.
Now you look super tough. I'm sorry. I'll fix that later.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh man, you look hardcore. Okay, let's go.
And then I'll take you with me.
The Thieves Guild is an interesting place. Tyrion, you got a glimpse of it in your way down the sewers. But this particular sect of this particular faction of people have made their home in a place where no one else would. And once you get to a certain point, you don't realize that there's not even a smell anymore. It's mostly a series of underground tunnels, not buildings, more like hollowed out spaces that have become large rooms now. Systems that were not originally part of the sewers that have been added and shaped by the Thieves Guild. You meet a variety of people. Some people who you might not expect to be in the Thieves Guild, and some people who look exactly like they should be in the Thieves Guild. You do come across Nip Nip again. She gives Briar a interesting hand signal and sort of like fucks off the other way, But Briar, she's like, I gotta go, but we're good. What would y'all like to do once you are here?
I assume I would have some idea of the individuals, at least one or two that are on each side or on each side of the split. There was an individual that I heard of a while back that tickles the back of Briar's memory. Someone who I think, if I'm not misremembering, sometimes causes a little bit of trouble from time to time, who is known to travel with his brother, who is often cleaning up these messes for him. If I can locate that individual, I would like to do so.
Let me find his name. I want to make sure I get it right.
Okay. Additionally, I am also... I'm going to, I think in this moment, just... Because Naj was with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have Najwa just kind of like casing for me on my behalf, like just kind of like, just keep an eye out and make sure that nobody's paying too close of attention to us, kind of a deal.
Yeah, to that point, Tyrion is going to be using his new observant feat to try to read the lips of anybody that he, can't necessarily hear outright. It might be confusing, especially if they're speaking in Thieves' Cant. So he will then just use like the surface level of detect thoughts and just try to scan the room. He's mostly looking for hostility, but also support and trying to kind of weed out who's who.
Sure.
And then we'll communicate that through message to Briar. So he's not saying anything verbally. He's just there as like kind of a support spy sort of thing.
I can't find my notes on this brother's name, but you do find him. He's a sweet kid. He's a kid. And he is sort of not on either side. But he is able to point you to the two sort of runners, the two leaders or thought leaders, which are Paula is on the side of we should join, and Ian is on the side of we should not join. Paula is a half-elf, and Ian is a gnome. And so, why don't you roll Terry?
Ian's a what?
Gnome.
Ian is a gnome and Paula was a what? I'm sorry?
Half-elf.
A half-elf and a gnome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you roll a history check for me, Briar?
Okie dokie. History. That's a 21.
Last you remember, Ian and Paula are together, as in romantically involved. But they have somehow found themselves on the opposite side of this fracture within the Thieves Guild.
Interesting. Okay. I will approach, I think, Paula first, since she is the one that's already kind of like, I want to do this.
Yeah. She's pretty easy to find. She's pretty accessible. You've met her in person a couple times.
Is it, by the way, is the brother's name Gil?
Gil. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian. Gil. Gil is a great asset to have. He's very friendly, very gregarious, knows everybody. Mm-hmm. His brother keeps to himself a little bit, but he's
right.
Pretty cool too.
Okay. So yeah, I'll approach Paula first.
Definitely. While this is happening, Tyrion, you said you were doing reading lips and detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts. Yeah.
Is it a save initially, or remind me how to do
just
that?
for the surface level, it's not. So he's not. It would be like an action to delve deeper into a single individual's thought. but he can kind of like scan the entire room without making any saving throws. It's surface thoughts of the creature, what's most on its mind at the moment. So yeah, he's basically just seeing if anyone's paying particular attention to them, if anyone is particularly stressed or anxious about the encourage. Surface thoughts.
What you gather is, you've seen it before, is a sort of this surface level of what you can only identify as trauma. Several of these beings down here have not left this area since the incursion started. Several of them have not seen their families or have not seen the light of day. They rely on the Thieves Guild to meet all their basic needs. Several of them do still go out and try and make things happen and try and work, as it were. But it's next to impossible because a lot of the Thieves Guild works between this city and Wolfcrest. They have a staunch alliance with their Thieves Guild, and there's a lot of smuggling and trade that goes on there. No open hostility towards you or Briar. There are some, in some particularly older individuals, you get the sense that when they look at Briar, they're like, oh, that's different. And it's just a very quick flash of, oh, okay, something is strange here, but nothing alarming. You probably would understand that it's because she's the Reaper. And these are more magically tuned individuals and are sort of getting a read off of her. You also get the sense, why don't you roll an insight check for me?
13 plus, what is my insight? Plus 5. 18.
Okay. You get the sense that most of the people who are resistant to the rebellion just feel disconnected from it.
Yeah.
They feel as though they can just hide down here, and they don't feel empathy or sympathy towards the surface dwellers. They don't feel connected to them at all.
He will then message Briar, since Briar is going to do the talking for this. Sorry, my dog decided to join. He'll basically just say, Briar, they're trapped here. This is a cage. It's not their home. They're scared. Some of them are scared of you, so I don't know, maybe use that. These kinds of people should be free, and they need to feel a reason to want to fight, if that helps.
I'll just wink at you. Okay, is there a way for me to signal, whatever thieves can't signal, I would need to do to beckon Paula over to our table?
Yeah. So you find yourselves in sort of like a den sort of situation. It's what would once have been very lush and fancy furniture, but has seen time wear it down. So the corners are worn. There's spots on the couch that are worn. You find yourselves on a large sofa, and Paula makes her way over to you.
Hello, friend.
She will cross her fingers and set her elbows on the table and look at you.
How are you?
I've been better. How can I help you?
I don't need any help necessarily. I just I don't know. It seems like it's kind of gloomy down here. And you know what might help with that would be a party.
A party?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's only going to work if everybody wants to come to this party. You know how it is, like when you're trying to have fun, but then there's other people that don't want to have fun, and it makes it not fun for everybody.
I'm well aware. Those people.
Yeah.
How do you convince those people to party, though?
Well, the thing that always makes me want to go to a party is if there's something in it for me, like sandwiches or music, or, sometimes if you can walk away with party favors.
Party favors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I heard a rumor that a very famous party giver is back in town.
Really?
I did. We haven't seen him in a while.
You know what? I actually think that I have. And I would be willing to bet that he would be very keen to throw a party.
Well, it would be easy. It would be easy to convince these party poopers, if we will, to come and join the festivities. If they knew for certain they would have some party favors at the end of it.
That's very valuable party advice. If I were to help organize this party, would you want to come?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Mind if I bring a +1?
I mean, as many pluses as you want, as long as they're cool,
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to, help me spread the word about this party, do you feel like there would be more people that would want to play and have fun, or more people who would want to stay home and beat butts?
I think it's about half and half right now.
Okay. Well, I guess just keep your ear to the ground. The best parties are word of mouth.
They are. I'm happy to meet with you about this party. It's been a while since I've had a good frolic.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It gets very gloomy down here.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you spoken to Ian about this party?
I have not. Do you think? I don't mind.
I just maybe think he might need some persuasion, especially if you know our party thrower, our host, if you will.
Yeah. Well, where can I find Ian? I would love to throw this party as soon as possible. I feel like the longer we wait, the fewer party favors there'll be.
I see. You can find Ian in the basement.
Oh, well, of course, that makes sense. Great.
He's been a little bit grouchy lately, though, so...
I mean, who hasn't?
Fair. This year, it's...
Rip. Okay, well then I'll go to the basement, I guess. And I'll bring my super tough bodyguard with me also.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Hold on. He's spoken for. Don't get crazy.
All right. She'll wink at you, Terry.
Great. And then need to head down to the basement, I suppose. I also additionally, I don't have any gold at all anymore, but I'm going to leave half a sandwich and some buttons on the table.
Can you roll a persuasion check for me?
Okay. Oh my god, okay.
With advantage.
Cool. That is a 26 with advantage.
Okay, good to know. You see, Tyrion, as you look back, I don't know if Briar looks back. She seems like the type who doesn't. Yeah. You see her gently, twirling one of the buttons between her fingers like a knife. Just admiring it. It's a nice button. She said, you see her, mouth to herself.
Where did that go, Will? I understood none of that. I we're having a... I'm assuming that was code?
Don't, yeah, oh gosh, oh man. Yes, don't, it's okay. You're so smart at some stuff, and it's okay to not be smart at everything. I still like you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, let's go. I'll lead you to the basement.
Oh my god. The basement is a pit. It is where, if you go against the Thieves Guild, you get thrown into for a specific amount of time as punishment. You find Ian. So essentially you walk into a room and it's about 10 feet to a ledge, and this is a circular pit. So there's a circular wall and then an inner sort of like a round walkway. And he is pacing around this, just slowly, kicking rocks.
Okay.
The pit, I will say, is empty.
So he's the only individual down here.
He is.
Okay. I will, I'm gonna look at Tyrion, and as low as I can whisper, ask like, can you do the brain thing? Can you talk to me in my head, please?
Yeah, message.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
I think maybe you should wait at the door, and I will, because I think it might be too much if we both approach. So just don't get too far away.
I will be within message.
Great. Okay. And I'm going to very casually sit on the edge of the ledge, like swing my legs over, and then just start whistling. Like a tune, not like at him, just whistling casually.
He has seen you approach, and he's got, you see this gnome, he's got sort of like reddish hair, kind of a wider gentleman, much broader shoulders than you as a gnome. Makes his way over to you.
In Gnomish, I'm going to say, I heard you were in trouble for being a party pooper.
Not all parties are worth the fun and the games, Briar.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but what if I were to tell you that I could find a party that was a sure thing?
Is there such thing as a sure thing in these times?
Yes and no. I think I've heard a friend of mine say something about death and taxes, but beyond that, I'm pretty sure that if you would be willing to just come with me to this one party, you'd have a really good time.
What if I don't want to party for? Just to have things to... You know, parties are all fun and games, right? And then when it's over, it just goes back to the way things were. I'm not okay with it.
After a moment, I'm going to drop the can't. I will continue in Gnomish, but I will drop the can't. Look, I don't think that either of us could sit here and say that things are going to continue to work as they are. Nobody's making any money. Look, and I'll turn my pockets inside out, and all I can produce is the other half of the sandwich, which is mostly eaten, and like a couple of like pebbles and other little stupid things. I can't live off it. I can't live off the sandwich, but I can't live off of this. Do you want to be down here in this pit? Or do you want to be making some money?
I'm listening.
Look, there was really only one chance for us to do this, and I think we have secured what we need. I think we have found the person that we need to make this happen, but we need everybody to play ball.
Look me in the eye and tell me that Theo is back and it's really him.
I've seen him with my own eyes. I brought him here.
Roll persuasion.
That's my persuasion. Oh, God. I just rolled it. I already forgot. Okay. 20, dirty 20.
I want guns. For the
If I
fight.
can make, go ahead.
For the fight, I want guns.
Like how? Like what? 2 guns? That's not very specific.
For me and 10 of my men. 10 of my people.
Okay.
You can train. He'll train us.
Nobody's gonna send you into this to die. What would the point of that be? Of course he's gonna train you. But if I promise that I can do this for you, you have to promise that we have to end the squabbles. I just want to go back to picking pockets.
Don't we all? Fine.
Great. Invitations are expensive, so I'll send word when it's time for us to start decorating for this party.
Very well.
Great. Do you want some of this sandwich? Are you hungry? How long have you been down here? Oh, okay. All right, fine. I'll pop the rest into my mouth and I'll get up.
Tyrion, have you been detecting thoughts?
No. Briar, he's been maintaining message, just in case Briar needed anything.
Okay, good to know. All right. Which brings up. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let's leave. Let's get the hell out of here. Just like tug your sleeve and go.
Do you think they're going to help?
I believe so, but we can't really talk about it here, so let's go. I'm ready for another sandwich.
Okay, another sandwich, and then I was actually hoping to use your pickpocketing skills for, I guess, the reverse, putting something into a pocket.
Oh, I'm really good at that too.
Oh, good. So, what Tyrion has in mind for their next task, which would be convince more citizens to join to take up arms. And I don't mind letting somebody else go first if somebody has something else, but...
Why don't you go really quick? Because I think I know what you're about to do.
Yeah. So Tyrion will take Briar back to his shop house. And he'll spend a couple hours, he'll make the sandwich, but then he'll spend a couple hours just sitting at the table, and he writes out a note. And when he's done with that, he starts just making ribbons of encode thoughts, as many as he can. It takes 6 seconds, he spends hours doing it. And then he's going to try to figure out at this time of the day where the most concentration of people is going to be: a marketplace or a busy street that has a lot of commuters, something like that.
I forgot to mute. Oops. Gathering is technically prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
But you were able to. You do know that there are some busy streets that you could find and accomplish this.
Yeah, not even that people are gathered, just that there's a lot of people just in general because they're moving from A to B. And he'll grab a small bag, he'll put all of the encode thoughts into it, and he'll hand that to Briar. Briar, I'm going to be nearby, but I am definitely not as good at this as you are. I need you to just slip these into people's pockets. Just one per person, one per family, I guess. Spread the love, as it is. A bit of forewarning: when you touch one of these, you will see everything that it has, and it is a lot, and I apologize for that, And I promise that afterwards I will make you a sandwich and some tea and give you a nap. But I need you to be... I'm sorry, but I think this is the best way.
So this is gonna hurt my brain, is what you're telling me?
It's gonna hurt your heart, maybe.
You'd have to have one. Okay, let's go. And I will attempt to do as Tyrion asks.
Why don't you roll me 3 successive sleight of hand checks?
Okay. So that's 13 plus 11, 24. That's another 13 plus 11, 24. And that's a natural 20, so 31.
Tyrion, why don't you describe what Briar sees?
So the encode thoughts, when anyone touches it, they get this memory, and it is the memory of Tyrion writing out this note. He wanted to structure this in a way that, I've mentioned before, memories are weird things. They can be fuzzy at the edges. The details aren't always exactly what they were, but the focus of what the memory is kind of like made about is the most important thing. His memory is about Charlie. You might not see, the bookshelves around her, but you always see Charlie because that's the source of the memory. That's the focus. So it's him writing the letter. It's in his voice, and he says, "Hello, you don't know me. Right now you don't need to. Just know that I'm taking a great risk by speaking to you in this way, just as you are taking a great risk in listening. What has become of our city, our beautiful Azmarin? Every day you go about your business, you stroll through the cinder and smoke of our home, never knowing if this day will be your last. Every day is fear and hopelessness, and at some point it almost begins to feel normal, but we know that none of this is normal, and we also know that things aren't hopeless. There are still those who are willing to fight, and at that point, his memory actually creates the montage, the memories of his party fighting through the prison, fighting the Horned Devil, fighting the Aboleths. And you don't see the faces of anybody. It's more feelings than it is, as much as it is imagery. You're not alone. The city still has room for hope. And you get the feeling, the imagery of Tyrion with Briar and the hope that he feels from her. There's still room for friendship, and you get the same with Tyrion and Jude, because this is all coming from Tyrion's point of view. There's still room for love, and of course it's focused on Charlie. Azmarin is our home. Devils can burn buildings and hang out people, but we will always be stronger than they are. We are Legion. We are the people of Azmarin. And at that point, it does actually focus on Theo, and his face is in focus, and the strict factual memory that he is now in the city. And our hope can outshine even the darkest of darks. I know you have lost. We all have lost. And this is probably the part that hurts the most, because this is the very raw emotion that Tyrion really can't keep down, of his loss of his mother, and the loss that he feels through Charlie for Olympia and the rest of her family. And things can seem dire, and at this point another feeling he can't keep down, and it's the memory of seeing Charlie with her heart in the clutches of a devil, and I forgot what they're called, an Abishai. But through flame and shadow we can prevail together. I know you're scared. I know that would be so much easier just to ignore this and move along, but I'm asking you to be brave. I'm asking you to take the risk to fight for your home and all the wonderful things that it can be again. Stand, and you will find that you do not stand alone. We are survivors, all of us. We are remains from the fire. We are the ashes of Azmarin. Tonight, at the strike of 8, burn this ribbon in your fireplace if you are willing to fight and overthrow these fiends and retake your home.
Did we just win D&D?
He did the thing. He said it. He said the thing.
Derek, did you just win the whole campaign? Did we win?
We don't have to
Is
keep
it
playing,
over?
guys.
I think all the devils just
We
died.
did it! They all
Suddenly.
dropped dead! We did it, y'all!
all the devils just immediately died.
Yes! Yes!
Yo! I don't have my green card right now, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Did that work? Was that good?
Fuck you.
We are the ashes of Azmarin. Oh, fuck off.
We don't have a team name because we can't stay as a team for more than a session.
This is accurate.
Our team name has been there the entire time.
Oh, I'm mad.
Jesus.
I'm big mad.
I need reaction gifs of everybody in that moment.
Oh, how dare you make me feel things? That's my job. Oh, fuck. First, I wanna know what Briar is doing.
I think certainly the first time she touches one of the ribbons to put it into someone's pocket, maybe she freezes and that person actually ends up walking away because she's kind of like caught off guard. And honestly, I think that there is a mix of feeling a little emboldened, a little hopeful, but still just incredibly guilty, knowing that she has made some mistakes and some missteps, and but I think can gather her focus back and honestly probably spend a little time here and there. So I'll go to like a tavern and crouch by a bar, and then as people come and go, I'm just like boop into their pockets, or as people are walking by, you know, pretend to trip, and as they help me up, slip it into their pocket. As they're making an exchange at a market, you know, bump into them accidentally, put it into their satchel or their bag, that kind of a thing.
Maybe
Probably spend half of the day doing it.
Maybe like the 20th time Briar's like mouthing along, like, we are the ashes of Azmarin, yeah.
Briar, it's actually rather unfortunate that you don't get to see many people's reactions to this, because they're not gonna know at first. However, roll perception for me.
I know what my modifier is. Yep. Okay. Ooh, that's only a 10.
Oh, you did use. Have you used an advantage yet?
I have not. How many do I have? Sure. Oops, that was landed on a bunch of other dice. Sorry. That's a 10 again. Hooray.
Perfect. Okay. You don't. You kind of are. You can tell me if you are or not interested in seeing anybody who is living this memory that you get to live through, what, 60 times?
I honestly, my focus here is subterfuge. So I'm not super concerned about anybody except for one individual who I think I would attempt to be nearby to try to catch a glimpse, but with a 10, I probably am not very successful. A halfling shopkeep. The only individual from whom I have never stolen anything. I will try my best to stay within the vicinity to see if they have a reaction at all, but
so,
I don't know.
For that specific check, it's not a very high DC, because as you have placed it into their pocket, you watch. Some hours later, they begin to close up their shop, right before curfew. And as they reach, they're standing in the street, and as they reach into their pocket, you watch them stop and stare at the closed sign at the door. And you can almost see it playing out through their eyes. You've got it memorized by now. Their hand rests on the doorknob, holding the door closed. And as it gets to the part of "We are the ashes of Azmarin," you see them look up to the sky, tears streaming down their face. And after a moment, they close their eyes and hold tight to the door, their lips moving in a silent prayer as they take the key and lock up the shop and begin to head towards the basilisk and the Bastille.
Okay. I only follow them long enough to make sure that they get there, and then I will go back and try to find Tyrion and or Charlie and or Jude. I don't know how much time Jude has been spending with us, but just try to locate everybody else.
Sure. Which brings us to Charlie.
I have two big things I want to do.
Okay.
One of them is a lot. One of them is a little less. So I think, Jude is training some training scenarios, and I think
Jude is predominantly in charge of training new combatants.
Yeah, so I think I would try to assist, not with that, but with anybody that's interested in healing or providing support. If maybe they're a little squishy and maybe don't need to be on the front lines. I would like to kind of lend my skill set to that. And kind of as you already very accurately stated, when people are coming back, I would imagine, at least to some extent, be kind of help oversee the healing, the medical aspect when people come back from those little battles. But at some point, I am going to try to have a conversation with Jude.
Let's do it.
So I'll try to catch you. I guess maybe you're giving your trainees a little rest. Jude, I have a perhaps strange request.
Yeah, you see him probably sitting down, polishing his shield and his sword. What is it?
Some of your newer, perhaps less experienced students. I don't suppose some of them would need... I can't believe I'm saying this. Please don't tell Tyrion. I don't suppose any of them would need target practice. Hear me out. A lot of what I need to do to keep you and Briar and my fiancé safe require me to stay focused in the heat of battle, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what is happening to or around me. And, well, everyone can do with a bit of practice. This seems to kill two birds with one stone.
Help me understand this. You want me to guide my trainees to attack you?
Your perhaps less experienced trainees, yes. At least at first. Certainly don't expect to take a hit from you and to be able to maintain concentration at this point, but...
When you say concentration, that's when he puts two and two together. He wasn't following it at first. I'll see what I can do. I will say, The few select that I am seeing with potential, and they might attack you with the force that not many others have. They might, for lack of a better word, smite you. Is that okay? They need training too, you know.
Well, always a good... Well, I'm a very good healer, I would like to think, so it should be fine. I will give a glance to Moira, because I do imagine Moira is just glaring.
Bristling. However, she does not interfere.
They have taken an oath to the city, and as it was my former oath, I want them to know what that means. And do not worry, as I smile and you see my hand glow with the orange reddish glow, you're not the only one who can heal if you are knocked out.
That is reassuring. We'll see if I regret this in a little while, but thank you.
You will.
Training montage.
Let's get down to business. The devils. Oh, that's even better.
You see, Jude
I
in the
literally
back
took
like,
resilience fear for this.
So I will, and I'll start with things like Shield of Faith. So like it gives me a little extra buff, but I am working on holding concentration when I take hits, because this whole me not getting hit was really great at the beginning, but these devils be wising up and realizing that I maybe not am following this whatever code my parents decided to. So I gotta be ready, because I gotta be able to keep all these peoples alive. So that is what I am, and I will. I don't know how, as time progresses, my plan is to work up the ranks, and who knows, maybe eventually it'll be all right, Jude, see what you got.
So
probably not, because I'm pretty sure you could take me out in one hit. But
Charlie, I need you to make 5 successive wisdom checks.
Wisdom checks, okay.
So you mentioned before that Tyrion's gonna come home with bruised knuckles and a bloody lip, and
yeah,
Tyrion's gonna come with,
it's fine.
sword wounds.
It's fine. It's like, oh my gosh, we're twinsies. Yeah. It's fine. It's so great.
Yeah, he has a black eye.
It's
she
fine.
has a sword through her hip.
They need to be you said successive?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't roll them at the same time. Okay, perfect. Heck yes, honey. Wisdom. Just wisdom check, right?
Straight wisdom check.
Beautiful. 22. Burn an advantage.
Yep.
Oh, it's not a 15.
Okay.
It's 2. 24. 13. Super consistent. Ooh, advantage. 19.
Okay.
I felt like a 2 or a 1.
It was not high.
It takes hard work. Harder than, Charlie, you have ever worked in your entire life for this feat. And then we come upon the end of this montage, and you have one opponent left. You stand face to face with Jude. At this point, you have gathered spectators. One of them being Hellbreaker. Tyrion and Briar, would you like to be here as well?
Please.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm mean because Jude doesn't have his armor on either. You can see his abs underneath his cut off vest jacket, just swinging with his sword prepared behind him.
Okay. I will take a minute, focus on the gem that is probably out, since we're, I imagine, not in any way, shape, or form visible to any kind of fiends. So I imagine it's been out, so it's just easier to access while we've been doing this. I will take a deep breath and I will exhale, and there will be a slight shimmer of, again, starts to look like, it initially looks like dust, and then there's a faint shimmer, and I will cast Shield of Faith to give myself a little, it's not going to matter, but...
Tyrion,
Mage armor, please. Love of God, mage armor.
I will say, Jude's looking at her, not looking at anyone else. And if there's anyone who was like in the guard beforehand, because he didn't kill everybody. If there's anyone who was there, even Hellbreaker or whatever, they're going to see a Jude who's not trying to show off, which isn't about showing off. You see a Jude that's almost like this is like his natural element. But he looks at Charlie and he says, "One, yes, this is going to hurt. But don't just think about yourself. Don't think about me. Don't think about Tyrion O'Brien. Think about this city. Think about your father. Think about everyone you want to protect, because you are going to be the light that keeps them alive and going during this incursion. Well, during the battle at least. There are things out there that are stronger than I. But if you can hold off against me, you have a chance."
Okay. I will lift a less shaky now hand with my shield, because I do have a shield. And I'll just nod from over it. I'm ready.
A silence is ushered from the crowd.
"I don't think you are." And then at that moment, you see, or first you hear the ground begin to shake a little bit, as there's like small bits of static electricity forming around Briar, around Tyrion, around Hellbreaker. You start to see this reddish, orangish electric glow come from his sword as it is wreathed with electrical energy. But I think
Got this,
we can do
babe.
it. And I cast Booming Blade as I run over to slice.
Make your attack roll.
I'm sorry. That's a 25.
Yeah, no, I knew. I figured.
It's okay.
Roll the damage.
Oh no, that's the wrong dice. I'm sorry.
Should have cast Death Word on myself.
Charlie has an AC of 18 right now.
That is
Yeah.
17 points of slashing damage plus 6 points of electric damage. As I strike you, there's like a concussive wave of just static and power, and it's now surrounding you.
Oh,
What is
cool.
the total damage?
23.
23.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Tyrion absorbs 20 of that.
Oh my god, you're so obnoxious.
You said I
Stop
could be there.
it!
He's not.
Stop it!
I
Stop
will
it!
say, as I noticed, because I do think Briar would notice that Tyrion is fiddling a little bit, I will nudge you really hard in the side.
Fine. Fine.
You're not helping her if you're helping her cheat.
I'm going to burn my last advantage.
Okay. Well, you have advantage on the check as Warcaster.
Oh, do I? I wasn't sure.
Make it with
Okay.
advantage.
That I threw that dice on top of other dice, so it's really cocked. It's not even like
You can
on.
hear, you heard it. It did not hit anything hard.
That's half the damage. You hold on to your... Ordinarily, this strike would rip your concentration away from you, but as this blade comes down, and for the sake of this, you're gonna block it with your shield. Go ahead, Mindy.
Okay.
You wanna?
Oh no,
I was gonna say, I do think, yeah, so block with the shield, absolutely, but I do think the force of it takes me to my knees.
Yes.
And I think there's this moment of just kind of kneeling at the, like, kind of on my knees on the ground. And you said there's like this static around me. And for a little bit, that's all you see. And then when I look up at you, you see that faint sheen from the Shield of Faith, which is still up.
Yeah, I like turned. I looked. I'm like, But we're not done with this. Stand up for me, because you're going to stand in battle, I assume.
I stand back up.
You immediately take 2d8 damage.
Okay.
That's 16 points of damage.
Ooh, why are you max damaging me, friend?
I wasn't max. Max would have been
2d8?
Oh no, I lied. Sorry. Oh, I just said that so wrong. Sorry. That is 13 points of damage.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Roll another Constitution saving throw with advantage.
They are going to cheat. They are not human.
Yeah. It falls.
Do you want to use your last advantage?
Oh, I have that advantage because I didn't need the last one. Okay, yeah. Those dice can go sit in a corner and cry, because what are you doing? 12.
That's what you needed.
Oh, is it?
You needed a 10.
Oh, 10 or half.
It's 10 or 10 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah!
But I see that go. Good. You're strong. I will look over to Tyrion, because even with my horrible perception, I know that he wanted to help. I know Tyrion by now. And I say, and I'll heal you. How much damage did you take?
36, which
Yeah,
is well
if
over
Tyrion
half.
That's good. That's actually fine. You heal back to full. As I use 36 of my lay on hands pool. And I look at him and I say, you're not alone, and we will help you along the way. And I say, give it up for Charlie.
Oh.
Hey, Charlie, woo!
Oh.
I hear that from Briar, and you see me kind of stutter for a second, but then I look back at Charlie.
I'll give you a nod. Thank you. Truly.
And that, friends, is where we will... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
One little thing.
Mm-hmm.
While this is going on, seeing all of the individuals who are present, I would like to cast Sending and send a message to Hellbreaker.
What is your message?
It's simple. I say, I would like to request an audience with you. It is of the utmost importance. And if you deny me, it may cost Jude's life.
You look, and this is the moment where everybody is cheering for Charlie and rushing up to congratulate her and admire Jude. And there's one person not clapping, and it's Hellbreaker. He stands in the back, arms crossed, stoic expression on his face. He locks eyes with you. Sundown.
I just nod. And then I'll move with Terry. I'll follow Tyrion into the crowd. And
that, friends, is where we will take our midway break. Woof! What a wild first half. Please get up and stretch and get something to drink and pet your pets. We will be right back.
Oh, baby.
baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, baby, I love your madness. It's
Welcome to our Patreon. Here on Open for Adventure, we are making high-quality Dungeons & Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Azmarin. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our undying love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please. The Lore Master. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, Open for Adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Sanmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Sanmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Sanmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by found familiar. Did you know that every bag of found familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of found familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Sanmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by Found Familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. found familiar coffee. Buy it today.
Yeah, to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh, baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know, and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. The limit of love is endless. I know. Just do what you want with me. Yeah, I want it all. Could care less the cost. I give you my everything. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know, and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces. Yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Life is so easy. Whoa.
Welcome back to the second half of the session 8 of Ashes of Azmarin. We just left off with Briar requesting a meeting with Hellbreaker, the former Captain Delavan, aka Jude's father. He requests a meeting at sundown. Do you know where to go?
I think I would start at the location that we have met with him before. At the is it the
Basilisk and the Bastille.
Thank you. I was like, not the Bastion, the Bastille. That's not it. Yes. As a note, this morning I did bring Casimir with me as my ghost companion.
And what does Casimir do?
Casimir is helps me with insight. This is the eggplant tinted, since he's a ghost, he's not super purple, but eggplant tinted tiefling, very kind smile and face. So that's who's with me today.
You do find Hellbreaker in that room where you first met. This is you're brought back to the initial meeting of just the single light shining on Andy and the discorporeal voices from the darkness. But it's lit in here today. Dim lighting. In this underground room, there are 2 chairs, seated opposite of each other, nothing in between them. and one of them is Darius Delavan.
I will. Any hints of sweetness or mirth or whimsy that Briar usually carries around is nowhere to be seen. She's stone-faced, and I don't know how perceptive this individual is. I would assume somewhat, but she's very much got her business mask on right now.
Sorry. Her business mask is on. Does she go to take a seat?
I think after taking a long look around the room to ensure that she does feel that they are indeed alone and she's not being observed by anyone other than Hellbreaker, she will take a seat.
Yeah, roll a perception check just to.
That's an 8, so she don't know.
Yeah, you feel pretty alone.
Okay. Yeah, take a seat and
He does not speak. He waits.
yeah. Takes Briar a moment to kind of reaffirm her resolve, and after a moment, she, I will say to Hellbreaker, look, I'm gonna be real honest with you. You don't have to cast any spells. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. The first truth is that I don't like you very much. And I know that doesn't matter to you, but you should know it. And the reason I don't like you very much is because you hurt someone important to me. And he's the only reason that I'm here right now. I don't know how much of this you're going to understand. Naj was with me, correct? As she always is.
If you want her to be, yes.
I do. I would have, before entering, asked her to be a cat to accompany me, in the hopes that he might recognize this same cat that was with Jude the last time they met. And I will kind of pat my lap and beckon for her to sit. And, excuse me, as she does so, I want to mentally request that she become a book in full view.
She does so, shifting imperceptibly. The book lands with a thud on your lap.
This book tells me things. Some things I'm not able to understand. Most things I'm not able to explain. But I've seen glimpses of something that I very much hope to change. I don't see you surviving this. I think that you might die. And while I honestly don't really care about that, if you die, then I think so will Jude. And I can't have that. And I think I made a mistake that I need to fix. I don't know if I can fix it, but I need to try.
In his broken, gravelly voice, he speaks up. What do you have in mind?
Okay. I will stand and just gently set the book on the chair behind me and extend my tiny hand out. I need you to shake my hand and don't let go until I say so.
He leans forward a little bit. In your last life, you were taller.
Yeah, well, now I'm pocket-sized.
I trusted you then. And the city was taken.
I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. But I'm not her.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Ooh. I'm gonna use an auto crit here,
Okay.
actually. I think I really need this to work because those advantages didn't go well. So perception, so 25.
Persuasion?
Persuasion, I'm sorry. Persuasion is 27.
Perfect. You watch him breathe a heavy sigh, the air rattling in his chest. And he holds out a hand.
Okay. I am going to close my eyes and I'm going to hold onto his hand as tightly as I can. And in my mind, I'm picturing Najwa standing over us in the battlefield, seeing in my mind the image of her laying impaled when I first found her. I'm trying to get as close to her as I possibly can. And I am going to attempt to cast Remove Curse.
The very first thing I want you to do is make an insight check.
Okay, thank you, Casimir. That's a 19 plus 1, so 20 plus 3 is 23.
As you imagine yourself moving closer to Najwa, or in this form, Gabriella, you notice that you are no longer alone. Standing next to you, 6'4", massive form is Hellbreaker. And you see that as soon as he sees the creature in front of him, Gabriella, it looks as though a part of him has died. He looks smaller, paler all of a sudden, confronted with this reality of something he's never seen before. You are touching him to cast Remove Curse on him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next thing I want you to do is make a wisdom check.
Okay. Wisdom check is, just straight wisdom check is 15.
Straight wisdom check is 15. You remember when you pulled this curse from Charlie, there was a source. That sphere in her chest, that magical sphere that had been implanted within her. You now sense it within Hellbreaker. You reach for that source, pushing past his life force, pushing past that beautiful white glow that is a soul. And you reach for the corruption. And you wrap your hands around it. And you withdraw it from his body. It is there in your hands. What do you do with it?
I will push it into my own chest.
It goes in easily, absorbing into your small form. You feel your eyes widen as the pain of it startles you. You now feel as though you are slightly short of breath all the time. It's there. Hellbreaker looks at you questioningly. What are you doing?
Making things right.
He kneels down. You are more important than anyone in this city.
Not to Jude. You can't ever tell him I came here.
You find yourselves back. If you're ready, would you like to withdraw from the vision? From this place that you brought him to? Or would you like to stay for a little bit longer?
If he's in this place with me, can he see what's going on?
Yes.
Just briefly before we leave, wherever he is, whatever he's doing, I want to try to let us both see Jude.
In the context of this vision, you have watched Gabriella die, which means that this is the day of the incursion. As you call upon the weave to change your sight, the scene shifts around you. Hellbreaker shakes his head. I've already seen this. You see for the first time Jude. Jude, what are you doing on this night?
On the night of the incursion, he struck the guards before.
Just before, yes.
Just before.
Yes. So the guard has already fallen.
On the night of the incursion, he would have been with Xavier. And Bri would see...
Could you describe Xavier for us?
I can. Xavier is a olive tone. I mean, to be honest, they're gorgeous. They seem to be in a state of either having just cast some sort of spell or are about to cast a spell. They look rattled. They look shaken. Long hair, dark in color. Eyes that are bright at this moment. They're almost like, for lack of a better word, their body almost looks snake-like. Just like slender, beautiful. But still has a still has a strength behind them, for sure. But they're looking at a very much corrupted Jude with veins of orange and red all over his face, eyes burning. Somehow they see he is reveling in the chaos he just created. And this is the plea, or a plea, from Xavier to stop.
Jude, you hear his voice in your head in this moment, in the flashback. Aegon, what is this? What have you done?
What do you think I've done?
Is this you? The city is in flames. What?
Does it matter?
Yes!
We have power. We have everything. My father, my mother, and I, we... This feels good. Come play. That's so much to take.
No. You don't have to do this. This isn't you. I know your heart. I know you are suffering, but... Aegon. Come back to me. Please. You see he raises his hands sort of like this in a surrendering. Just stop what you're doing.
My
Please.
heart died when my father died. Now I'm here.
I don't want to stop you, but I will. I don't want to hurt you, but I will. If you don't turn back, you leave me no choice. Please don't make me do this. I love you.
You see a confliction in Jude's eyes, as there's something beneath him trying to struggle free, but for some reason it can't. Struggle to break free, but for some reason it can't. And you see almost a crooked smile trying to fade, but almost becoming stronger, as if fueled by the incursion itself, fueled by all the infernal energy now pouring into the city. If you could stop me, you would have by now.
There's a crash behind you all as a building collapses in an inferno. Not just any building, it's the temple of Ioun.
That could be playground number 1. Let's go.
I'm never going anywhere with you. Never again. Aegon is dead. He will cast... at this point, we will pull away from... as you watch Xavier begin to try and battle Jude, but find himself very clearly, very quickly outmatched, in which he will dimension door away.
As we pull away from that scene, to Hellbreaker in the vision, this man is not my friend. This is my friend. And I want to take us one more place, to the meadow where we're waiting for Theo, where Jude is pulling me into a hug and is the softest version that we've ever seen, and is explaining that we've all done bad things that we can come back from. And hinting about hope for the future. Talking about brunch. Saying that he loves Hellbreaker.
For the first time, probably ever, you see emotion on Hellbreaker's face. This is a man who was imprisoned in Avernus for 5 years. And you watch as he takes in the sight of in front of him with misty eyes. Almost the same way he looked at Gabriella. What point are you trying to make?
I think watching this scene again, Briar is also beginning to fight tears. This is the heart that we're trying to save. And if you break it again, you'll wish I left that curse in you. And I want to break the vision.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oof, I'm gonna use a luck point. Because that was a natural one. Okay, that's much better. Let's see. 16.
And between luck and advantages, Chris never rolled below a 15 again. It makes sense.
Strategery.
You feel for a moment as you pull yourself out of this vision and you're standing in front of the seated Hellbreaker. Gravity has almost weighed too heavily on you, and you feel the floor and room begin to tilt around you as if you are about to lose your physical form, as if you're about to discorporeate. But you pull upon the resilience within that stone place in your core, and you right yourself, and you see Hellbreaker seated there. Why did you come here?
Because I'll just pick up the book and hold it against me. Because no one's ever loved me before, and I want to deserve it. And I'll leave.
The door closes behind you. Who wants to follow that one?
Go, Mindy.
I don't know if you saw my web captioner, but I said I quit D&D, so I can go. There's only one other big-ish thing, and I don't exactly know how to go about it, but I know that we're trying to handle some of the corrupt individuals in power. Unfortunately, some of those people tend to be my parents, so also I want to know if there are any more diamonds in the house, but that's like, that's neither here nor there. But I do want to in that effort, I know most of the higher families. So if they have suspicions of who is involved, I can probably provide some insight into kind of the family dynamic, some of the things that I've noticed or have driven them, or this, that, or another. Definitely very essentially the family politics that come with high society.
Sure.
So I would like to provide any insight on my behalf and see if I can figure out, because I mean, my mom had those like fiend eyes at some point and then like was fine for a second, but I also tried to remove curse from my dad and he didn't like respond, so like trying to figure out what the heck is going on there, but he also like gave me some diamonds, so like maybe he's just like evil. I don't know. Maybe mom's, I don't know. So
you're sharing this with the rebellion.
Yeah.
This is a special meeting.
And anybody that would want to be a part or would be invited by whoever, like, you
are joined by Archer Bailey, who is also there to discuss the families. Archer is a good friend of yours. You and him are about the same age. Mm-hmm. And this is the man that you knew that your mother has been trying to marry you off to since you were 2 years old.
Oh, wasn't he the one that was going to be invited over for dinner?
Yes.
Ooh, that's awkward. Would have been a really awkward dinner for a lot of reasons.
In addition, is also Faust Montcroy, your cousin. Faust has... They are about 21. Their parents are Charles, who you are named after, and Johanna Meinhard Montcroy. That's a hard name to say.
That's a lot.
This is a special meeting called by Dave and Hellbreaker, essentially. What a combination of names. Dave and Hellbreaker. To discuss who needs to be eliminated and who needs to be put under house arrest, or to discuss what to do about how to remove these people from power and how to take advantage of the situation. It comes to light that the DeClaire family, Gordon and Ines is a Kentigern for the record, are leading. They are the ones who were the conduit for the devil incursion. It is unclear if any of their children are involved, but Marina, who is a Bailey as well, Marina, your mother, Marina is your grandmother, and so your mother and father are Rylan and Giselle. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Essentially, you are able to identify which Baileys and which Westwoods are involved, and it is called upon the three of you to make a decision on what to do with these people. Archer clears his throat, looking at you and Faust. From what I understand, the biggest threats are Ren and Vivienne Bailey. But the Baileys are powerful, and I don't know if we should... Do we kill them? Are we... Oh... This seems wrong.
How exactly are they using their power? Maybe there's a way we can use it against them. We have some connection. I don't know how much they would trust a change of heart, but perhaps there's something to be gained by earning their trust.
Faust speaks up. How are we supposed to earn their trust? I mean, do we make them sign a contract?
I just meant if they have information that would be useful.
So you're suggesting that we have them turn on the devils?
I don't know if they need to know they're turning on anyone.
Then is it really redemption if they don't know it?
I'm not as concerned with redemption at this point as I am with handling the devil situation. The redemption we can deal with after. And they can do that of their own choosing. There will be plenty of opportunities for it, but for now, there are people that are dying every day.
Charlie, I have an idea. Charles Montcroy, the eccentric patriarch of the Montcroy family. He's a historian and a keeper of rare artifacts. If you can convince him to give us artifacts, to give us weapons, something, perhaps the Montcroy family can be redeemed.
Do we know what prompted them to side with the devils in the first place? Was it simply for protection, or was it something else?
Faust gives a shrug. My mother... I don't know. I don't know what inspired her, but I know my father had nothing to do with it. My siblings don't know either. Fawn and Finley they're too young.
Seems a common trend.
Perhaps... I'm sorry, go ahead, Charlie.
I was going to say, I don't mind to go speak with him. I imagine we have a fairly decent relationship, yeah.
You always were his favorite.
Don't know how much that will help us in this case, but I'm willing to give it a try.
I don't know if it's... Faust is speaking now. I don't know if it's... We should be... I don't know who's truly dangerous. I mean... Dave speaks up. As far as we know... As far as what we've gathered, Charlie... Your mother might not actually... be her full self. Something more than a curse. Someone else inhabiting her.
Don't suppose you know how to remedy that situation?
In this situation, I think it's... We don't know. We might need to kill both of them and resurrect her. I think probably the most dangerous people are Malachi, your grandfather, and Ren Bailey. We've seen them coming and going from the castle. They often meet with Johanna Montcroy, Faustin Finley's parents. As far as we know, the Greaves and the Lindens are not involved, but we don't know. The question is, what are we willing to do? How far are we willing to go?
I cannot speak for everyone here, but I myself have a very firm line. I will speak to my uncle, though. I would like an opportunity to speak to my mother before anything is acted on in terms of decisions in that regard. And depending on what those decisions are, I will play no part.
Dave speaks up. Should she attack any of us, we have the right to defend ourselves. From what I hear, the soul who is inhabiting her is quite vicious.
We met.
Well, very well. There's a strange silence as everybody sort of gets up to leave, and you watch as Archer walks out with you all and then stops, heads back in and closes the door. What do you do?
Trying to decide if this is Mindy or Charlie. What was his face? Did I get like a vibe from him before I make a Mindy choice instead of a Charlie choice? I'm pretty sure my insight's pretty high. That's a... Why is this not up? Excuse me. 21.
The word that comes to mind? Murderous. Not like he's going to do anything right now. But looks as though he was somewhat at peace with the decision until he crossed the threshold, and there's a moment of, no. You know what? And he goes back inside. Keeping in mind it is his uncle and aunt who are his uncle Ren Bailey, who is one of the most dangerous people.
I just want to give a listen and see if we're all weirdly related. But I would like to give a listen and see if my parents are mentioned at all.
Roll perception.
I have no more advantages. 10.
Your parents do not seem to come up. It's a little hard to hear through the muffled door.
Sure.
But you don't hear your parents. You do hear them talk about he agrees to take out Ren Bailey.
Oh god, okay, it's fine. I'm just going to head out, I suppose.
Okay. It is the night that Tyrion has handed out, or Tyrion and Briar have handed out all of those encode thoughts. And you all find yourselves at the very top of the clock tower. The sun is about to start going down. It's on its way down, and Tyrion, you are looking out over the city. Eyes focused on something imperceptible. Nothing really. But you're paying special attention to the chimneys. There's a quiet between the four of you.
Good question. Am I here if it's not sundown yet?
Fine. It's evening. You're here. Whatever.
So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're here. You're all here.
It's
I
a span of
promise.
several weeks. It could be a different day.
Whatever. It's fine.
Okay.
Yes, that was a different day. My apologies. With Hellbreaker. There's a quiet between the four of you when you see the very first one. What does it look like, Tyrion?
So I think that Tyrion's magic started as a much deeper blue, but because of the celestial nature, because of being with Charlie, it's taken on more of like a lighter sky blue, even that there's like white edges to it. So, yeah, it's a smoke that has kind of a blue, almost like sparkling tint to it. And I kind of imagine that it starts with just one. He did say when the clock struck 8. And then another, and
From the chimneys. From the chimneys, as the clock tower strikes 8 behind you, you watch one plume of blue-white smoke rise from a chimney in Charger's Farthing, and then another in Northtown, and another in Scholar's Village, Southtown, Charger's Farthing. One by one, they all begin to light up in this beautiful blue puff of smoke. Each of you witness this.
Can I make an Arcana check?
Yeah.
'Cause all Jude sees is blue smoke everywhere, and I'm like, that's not infernal, but what is that?
No, Jude, that's hope.
That's not hope. That's magic.
I mean, it's my
It's
magic.
a natural one, so that's a 0.
Oh my god.
I was trying to have one nice moment. It's my magic. I kind of, it was brighter. Just, it's nice. Just look at it. It's not a bad thing.
That's not hope, that's magic.
That's why we can't have nice things, dude. This is why we can't have nice things. I mean, that, and plus we're in a city that's ruled by devils and everything's burned down and all of our families are dead or evil.
Oh, you did this. What is this?
Every one of those plumes of smoke is someone who has chosen to stand with us. It's a person who has decided that this city is worth fighting for. We're not alone.
But did it have to be blue and sparkly? I mean,
It's the way my magic looks.
Okay. I'm not talking down. I turned and faced Tyrion.
I understand. It's fine. Your magic is infernal and all fiery and devilish, and mine's just a little.
You did a
blue and
good
sparkly.
job. If this is what you've done and you've inspired people, you did good.
Thanks, Jude.
So I'm going to teach you how to conceal, not make it so princessy. I don't know. It just feels, it's pretty.
Okay. I'm going to take the compliment. Not what you just said, the thing before that I'm choosing to
It's like I need clarification for that.
Right. Sparkles are fine. The point was seeing it. It was showing us and them that there's a lot of us.
You see Jude's face kind of contort a little bit. He's turning into a demon! No, as he is allowing hope in, but reality also sets in. However pretty this was, and however poignant it is, this was a clear message. Because I can tell you, the one person who saw this more than anyone was my mother.
Good.
Is that good?
If you were the person who thought you had all of the power in this city, that you thought that everyone was going to bow to you, and then you found out that that wasn't true at all. She used to think it was just us, but she knows better now.
Let us revel in happiness for one day.
At least a few minutes.
Because unfortunately, you all know my power, and I'm sure you know my father's power. But she was just as powerful. This will not be easy. But I don't believe anyone thinks it will be. But the clock is officially ticking. And in weeks, days, however it takes, this city will either be ours or theirs. For good. But I am glad we are changing the tide together. All of us. I had to look at Briar. This is the end game. And I look at Tyrion and Charlie. I do not know if you have things planned. But being a child of the law, I do have power. My word can be true. This is awkward. So if you want me to make things official, I technically have the ability to do so.
Hadn't exactly set a date. It was going to be for...
Let's do it tomorrow. And I'll do the thing where you throw the flowers.
I'll turn to Tyrion.
I love you. I mean, that's not going to change.
I'm not sure why we...
Might as well.
Not sure what we're waiting for, so...
Yes.
Tomorrow, then, I suppose. Thank you, Jude.
Wait, do you have a pretty princess dress for this?
No.
Okay, well, DM, out of character. Have we set a date to meet back with everyone, with Dave and Theo and them at this point? Do we know the next time we're going to see them?
Yeah, this is at the end of the 6 weeks, so you are approaching, we are approaching the big day very quickly. The day is set for the day after the day after the year anniversary of the incursion.
Okay.
And that would be 22 Crimson Moon, which y'all are in. Azmarin calendar. Y'all are in Firefly Moon.
What day?
Oh.
We'll say middle of Firefly Moon, which, interestingly enough, quick note.
Happy birthday, Leona.
Happy birthday, Leona. Really quickly, few mundane creatures manage to capture the raw primordium more than the firefly. Light and heat bound within the fleeting form of a small insect, flickering and sparking to be back the encroaching shadow. And much like the insect, this month encapsulates the heated climax of summer, one which flares in a violent outpouring and then wanes with slow retreating footfalls to make way for the harvest, then winter. Much folklore surrounds this month in particular, but among the most interesting is that if a firefly is captured and delivered alive from one lover to another, then the bond is sealed, sanctified by the small creature. But if the firefly perishes before it is received, then the recipient is doomed, the spark of passion having burned too fiercely.
Ooh, I don't know if I
Be a
wanna
Patreon, and get content like this all the time.
I don't know if I want to risk that, but also
Let's set the date for a week, because I think we have just a little bit of planning to do. And Charlotte, we do need to talk to your family.
ooh, we need to talk to a bit of my family, unfortunately. But
And I
not
need to talk
for
to mine as well.
that reason.
And I need to, do important stuff too. So.
Yes. So, a week then, from now.
Jude, thank you. I really do appreciate it. You're a good friend.
Don't thank me yet. I could easily fuck it up, so.
Well, it is the thought that counts, as far as I'm concerned.
I start fiddling with my hand. I will need to.
I can get those
To.
the normal way that people do that, which is fine. Don't worry about it.
I have stopped worrying about many things, so. Well, while we're at my parents', maybe I could grab a fancy dress if she doesn't try to kill us.
Right.
For a week. We have things to do before then.
We do.
Don't die before.
I hope we wouldn't die immediately after either, but yes, that is a good thing. It would be very difficult to have a wedding if really any of us, because now we all have very important roles. We do need to find some flowers for you, I suppose, Briar.
Oh, don't worry about it. I think I've never been to a wedding, but I feel like you're not supposed to do the work. So I'll do the blue ring stuff. And
Okay.
you just, kill your mom and it'll be fine.
Oh, I'm not going to. Oh, right. 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 I imagine we maybe get awkwardly quiet and then we have a pseudo picnic dinner in the clock tower.
It is a night of, if you can call it celebration. There's just the four of you. Yes, there is a looming doom ahead of you, but in this moment right now, in this little bubble, you're protected. You're safe. You're home. The night does end, just like any other. We don't have time to do the family stuff the rest of this session. But I believe Tyrion has a conversation with Charlie?
Yes. Charlie, I've been thinking for a long time now, actually. Do you remember Nakir? I mean, I only met him the once. I don't know if you ever saw him again.
I did. And I have not heard from him in a while.
Oh.
When the devil came, disguised as Olympia, they mentioned someone going and trying to help her escape. Obviously, that wasn't true, but I did wonder and fear that perhaps they knew of Nakir. He offered to rescue Olympia. And I tried to reach out after I did not get a response.
Have you tried since then?
No, I haven't. I'll be very honest with you, Tyrion. I suspect he is... Well, I suspect he made good on his offer, despite me saying no, and just failed. In more ways than one. So I have not tried reaching out since then. Why?
Weeks ago, months ago, I think, it was the night that I first got my wings. I had a conversation with Najwa. It was terrifying, but illuminating. But she made very clear that I should try to make peace with Nakir, that he and I have more in common than I'd like to admit.
DM, first time with the wings was the same night I reached out to Nakir and didn't hear. That was the same night, right? Wasn't that post?
No,
or was that the second
That was
time?
before.
That was
Before,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
How close before was that?
Weeks.
Yeah, that was the same day that like the imp fell out of the sky, and there was like a single black feather. So Nakir was
Oh,
still
that's
going
right,
around.
that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like him. He spoke in riddles, and there was just something off about him, but regardless of that, he did seem to at least care about you, and that is not a flaw in my book.
I can try to reach out again.
I think if nothing else, he could be helpful to us, especially with your family. He could maybe help us.
If he is still alive.
I
don't disagree.
don't want you to do anything you don't want to do.
No. It's the worst that can happen is I don't get a response.
Okay.
And there are plenty of possibilities on the spectrum beyond that, so reaching out one more time can't hurt. I imagine we are inside your home. So I will get that. I'll take the gem out and I'll just hold it in my hand. Nakia, I don't know if you can hear me. But if you can, please respond.
Are you touching Darian?
I mean, I don't know if I'm touching Terry. Terry might have a hand on my shoulder or like an arm around me. Because I do think Nakira is dead.
Yep.
I'm reaching out to a dead person as far as I'm concerned right now.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, gross. Dirty 20? Question mark. Dirty 20.
Tyrion, you watch as Charlie's eyes roll back into her head and she gasps for air. You instinctively reach for her and hold her tightly, and you are drawn into this vision as well. You see Nakir slinking through the castle. You see him approaching the last two members of the Delaney family. And a daring plot to get them free, you see him unshackle them, leading them through dark corridors. And at the very end, at the last taste of freedom, you watch a pit fiend stand in his way, smiling. The Delaney children are returned, and in front of your eyes you watch as they begin to tear Nakir apart, ripping off limbs and wings, pulling him to pieces.
I am guessing we can't do anything.
There's no interacting with this. Make another wisdom saving throw.
22.
At the very last moment, you see Nakir's face, what's left of it, as one eye looks right at you. And he smiles, and it's the last thing he ever does. As you stare in shock, the pit fiend walks away, leaving the eviscerated form of the devil behind. And in the darkness, a low fire starts. Flames lick what's left of his form. And there's nothing left, except for ash. The pit fiend having destroyed Nakir, the Delaney's are marched back up. Having only gotten a taste of freedom. And you do see Olympia's face one last time.
Early.
I told him not to go. I walk away. There is a very firm shutting of our bedroom door. You don't get the impression I'm upset with you.
Tyrion respects nothing else its boundaries. I kind of imagine that Moira probably wasn't with you. He'll look down to her and say, just stay with her. Let me know if anything happens. I'll hopefully be back by morning. And Tyrion will leave.
Moira slips in to the bedroom where you are, Charlie. And you hear in your head a small voice. Is everything okay?
No, it's not. My job, my responsibility is to keep people safe. To protect life.
Did he say goodbye?
He didn't get it. Well, guess it depends on how you define a goodbye. I would argue he didn't really have a chance for a proper goodbye. But I don't suppose he was expecting it to be a farewell, so... Or maybe he was. I told him... What?
Go ahead.
I told him not to go.
Maybe he did it for himself.
Maybe. But he's still dead.
Mother bitch!
Ruh-roh.
Oh my god, I'm Bio.
Oh, hey, you come in now.
Oh.
So much is happening right now.
Wow. I didn't realize he was gonna be that gone. Jeez.
Oh, whoopsie doodle. It's my new favorite thing, whoopsie doodle.
Tech is beautiful and fun.
I'm Tyrion Cariatus. Crap.
Oh, I was gonna have I guess Jude and Briar are... Oh! There he comes.
Oh, well...
Sorry about that.
How dare you?
Internet went out. I don't know what happened. I'm back.
Where did Chris go?
Yep.
I can't hear you.
Am I muted?
No,
Oh,
we
there
hear
you
you
go.
now.
Okay.
Must not have just picked up.
There she is. For our
Sorry,
last...
Chris.
for our
Alright.
last little bit. We have one more thing to do. Jude, what are you doing?
When Charlie and Tyrion left to go back to Tyrion's place, Jude started to leave, but then he stopped. And he stays facing the exit for a bit. I understand why you did what you did. I understand that you were making a choice that you felt was the right one to do. Perhaps soon I will have the power to assist him in battling whatever has been done. But I don't fault you for your actions. If I was in your position, He turns around and faces her. I cannot imagine the responsibility you have now. I may be a fighter, I may be a soldier, and I may do my job well, but I know what my job is. And compared to you, my job is a pebble and you're the universe. You have the power to bend more than just the weave. You are rewriting the world in the way you wish to see it, or it needs to be seen. If there's one thing I understand, and it's power. Not power that corrupts, but power that is absolute. You are a very powerful woman, Briar. So whatever happens, I understand that this had to be done. And when the battle is over, we can find out what to do with him. But I'm not mad at you. There's one thing I can say about my father, he is strong. To survive hell and come back. This is one more thing. And if he is the person who trained me to be the powerful fighter you see before you, I know that he can deal with this. So, No more hiding. We are friends. I apologize if I kicked Najwa the other day. We will take back the city. And we will do it together. If that's okay with you. I've never had a sibling. But you are like a little sister to me.
Dude, I have lots of siblings, and they're all terrible, so this is a nice change of pace. I would do anything for you. I'm so glad we got to have a picnic.
I don't think this was a picnic. This was a...
There was a blanket and food and people that we love. Isn't that what it is?
Yes. It was a picnic. But I think we can do better than this, so... I'll make pancakes.
I can't wait.
With that, I will smile. I will cast. I'll kind of wave my hand for a second and cast prestidigitation and watch a little bit of sparkle show up on Briar's nose. That kind of tickles. I'll see you in the morning. I need to just need to do some things. But sleep well.
And that, my friends, is where we will end today. Our last session of the year will be next week, next Saturday, where we will gear up for the big final battle. We will resume again. Let's make sure I get this right. We will resume again for our finale part 1 on January 9th, after next week. Finale part 2 will be the week after, and then our epilogue will be the 23rd. Yeah, let's go ahead and sign off.
Oh, hey, I'm Mindy. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Miss Mindykins. I stream mostly. I just talk now on stream Sunday nights, Wednesday nights. We just hang out and chat. You can also find me here Monday nights at 6:30 Central Time playing Leona. And I'm actually going to be in an upcoming one-shot this Friday on Mare Feathers. Or just making sure I had the right... Sometimes I get them backwards on Twitch and Twitter. So on Mare Feathers channel, where I will be playing in an all centaur cleric. It's fine. It's fine. It's going to be a good time. Where I will actually get to try out a homebrewed subclass. Not mine. I did not make things. I don't make things. I just play things. But I got to play Charlie today, and my favorite moment had to be I had a very clear image of the four of us standing at the clock tower as the sun is going down. I have a very clear picture of it with smoke starting to rise. And just this moment of quiet family. That was probably my my favorite moment from tonight. There were some good moments, but
Oh yeah.
CB, you want to go or you want me to go?
Okay. Hey friends, I'm Omega Jones, also known as Critical Bart. Critical Bart across all social media channels. You can find me many places. Tomorrow on my own channel, you can find me doing Creature Collectors, which is a D&D 5e campaign that's inspired by Pokemon and Digimon and Cardcaptor Sakura and all these things. It's pretty freaking great. We're also close to our finale of our first season, so check that out at 2:30 Pacific. Yes, 2:30 Pacific. No, 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. 1:30 Central.
Not
11:30 Pacific. I'm struggling. You just look at my channel. And I'm doing a plethora of things other times. I do want to specifically shout out, it is not set in stone yet as far as dates, but I am one of the Tiltify Santas, along with Cypher of Tyr and Dr. Lupo and all these other people. We are going to be going to different streams during certain times and literally giving them money when they raise money for charity. So I'm very excited to be a part of this group. Stay tuned on my socials to know when I'm going live to be a Santa for some folks. Can't wait to spread the love this holiday season. Make sure you wear a mask still. It's still Corona, y'all. So be safe. Love you all. My favorite moment, too many. I think my favorite moment, honestly, I'm gonna say a small one because I have some ones I want to keep for our call outs later. Not a small one, but still. Briar just utterly obliterating Tyrion to make him dirty and disheveled was pretty great. Like, he's like, I'm gonna punch you, and then this plank of wood cracked. Like, that hurts. Those moments keep me going. I have so many more to say, but I want to save those. But I think this overall was an amazing episode.
same.
Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Sword. Apologize for my internet issues today, but shit happens. Anyway, if you want to find me and my projects anywhere, the best place is Twitter. It's dsword16. Some of my projects include, on Friday nights, I am on Graham Cracker's channel, where I play a swampy bugbear named Griaz, who is also a hug bear now, and he has a pet mimic, and what can go wrong? That is 8 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, I'm here Saturdays, and I'm also the co-host of the podcast Monster Crush. So if you enjoy smooching monsters or learning about monsters and cryptids and aliens and all different types of miscellaneous abominations, check that out wherever podcasts are found. Every episode, my co-host Heavenly and I take a look at a series of different monsters fitting a theme and whether they'd be good to smooch or be good on a date. And I think that's it for me for now. And my favorite moment, because I made a post-it note to remember. Yeah, I certainly did. My favorite moment was Jude, mechanically offering to cast Ceremony. That's such an underutilized spell. I once played a paladin who cast Ceremony for a marriage, and it was like it was amazing. It was incredible. It was so beautiful. It, like, you never see it happen. And I love that Jude has gotten to the point where he's willing to offer that. It's beautiful. And that's it for me.
Chris,
Hello, friends. My name is Chris, and I really like to hang out. If you ever want to hang out with me, you can follow me on Twitter at Kiss of Hemlock. That's usually where I post stuff that I'm getting into, all the nonsense that I like to dive into. Some cool stuff coming up. You can catch me on alternating Mondays on Rolls as Written, where I play an Air Genasi gunslinger with rage issues and really good aim. I also am very excited about an upcoming project next Saturday, actually, right after this. Well, not right after, but after this. I will be guesting with a few really incredible people on the Fae Forge Academy one-shot, kind of a holiday special that we're doing with the incredible DM, the bad DM on Twitter. And on Tuesdays, I am on Shenanigans, the new season of Book of Fables, which is also a lot of fun. So otherwise, you could just come hang out in our Discord on Open for Adventure. I spend a lot of time there too. So my favorite moment. I think my favorite moment today was the Charlie and Jude showdown. Like the fight circle. I literally in my head was imagining like Fight Club, like this underground ring where it's just, I don't know. That's what I had in my head. That was a super fun moment. And I don't know. That was just, who doesn't like a little healthy PvP? You know what I mean? But that's it for me.
Thank you, Chris. I am Camille, your host and Dungeon Master. You can find me on Twitter at CamilleDoesD&D. You can also find me on Open for Adventure. I kind of do some stuff there. My favorite part of today was Tyrion talking about Ashes of Azmarin. Oh man, it got me. Oh, those are some feels. Yeah, that's my favorite moment. I'm sticking to it. Catch us here, same time, same place next week. For our last session of the year, and we will pick back up in January once our schedules are less busy. Mindy, can you take it away with my our warm fuzzies?
Yeah, so we have Belchavez. And we have Andrew, Fellowship of the Tables, Bay of Keys. Mickey Manser. And then we have Christina. And we have Sev. We have Rick O. We have Gamer Lives with a 3 and a 1.
Gamer
Lives 3 and a 1.
And we have PJ. And we
PJ.
have Deborah.
All right, y'all. We will catch y'all net last week. I just work here. Next week.
Building a time machine, y'all.
Don't forget our other shows. You can see our schedule in our chat right now. We will see y'all next time. Okay, bye.